Hello, treasure hunters, and welcome to another Treasure Hunting with Katharyne Zoomcast. Whoa, I think at this point we've migrated from Spreecast. We are doing Zoom, and I think it's going well. I think we like Zoom. We're having a good time with Zoom. How is everybody doing? It's pretty quiet today. Who do we have here? We've got Larry, Cindy, Sherry, April, Dave Rayer, Diane Matthews, Jeff is in the house. Hi, Jeff. I took your cup with me this morning when I went treasure hunting, and it did me the world of good to have some coffee in Katharyne's coffee cup. Darcy's here. Oh, my children just came home. That's cool. Cedra's here. Brian's here. Yay, which is good because Brian is our guest in half an hour. Hi, Brian. Zuzu, Linda, Nada, Sandy, and Georgia are all here. So it's kind of a quiet one, kind of sort of chill, laid back. But I'm really looking forward to talking to Brian. He's been a member of Bundles and Treasure Hunting and Blue Sky. Yay. So he's in all the groups and he's doing some really awesome things at the moment. So I'm really looking forward to talking to Brian, finding out how he's doing. Guys, if you have any questions or anything you want me to talk about or address that has anything to do with Amazon, reselling, eBay, treasure hunting, Blue Sky, do post them in chat. It's, as I said, it's kind of a chill one today. Don't have loads of things to talk about, but if there is anything you want me to talk about or any questions you want me to answer, please throw them up in the chat and I will do the best I can. I did go treasure hunting this morning. I actually got up and went out and found stuff, which is exciting. I've posted a few of them in treasure hunting this morning. And one thing I found, I won't hold out on you, but I didn't post this one. I just said that I have, I'm bringing up my Amazon seller app so I can scan my big toy. But this one I mentioned in the group, but I didn't actually post what it is. So I'm going to do the big reveal on my toy that may or may not be worth $400. So let's bring it up. Dun, 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 dun. It's huge. It's huge. This is what it is. It's a board shark. How epic is this? So it's like just a giant surfer dude. And I believe you can put him in the sea and he has propellers. Yes, he says he's unsinkable and self-righting, and we all know how well that pans out when you claim something's unsinkable. But yeah, that's, oh, thank you, Isaac. Isaac just went and bought me coffee, so I like Isaac. So I'm just going to scan the surfer dude, and let's see what this comes in at. Ugh. It's not brand new, but they said it had never been played with, but they always say that. But let's take a look at it and see what it says. April, you didn't, I'll show you again. Gosh, I gotta pick it up now and wave it around again without knocking my coffee over. Oh my gosh. Here you go, April. He's a giant board shark surfer dude. And according to Amazon seller app, oh, actually I lied. It's not a $400 toy. At the moment, there's one seller on Amazon and they're selling it for $517 new. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get well, the rank is not great. The rank is like 600,000. So I don't think he's going to sell at $517. There is an FBA offer for $600. Wow. In fact, there's two. There's one at $600 and one at $650. But I might try listing him in collectible condition for about maybe $300, and I might be in with a shot at that. What I would normally say is go and look at Camel. I haven't actually got around to doing that with this guy yet, but I would probably say go and look at Camel and see what he's actually sold for in the past. Because I'm guessing it's not $600. I have a lot of faith in selling on Amazon, but I don't know I have $600 of faith. that he's going to be worth that. I got coffee. It's coffee from the bad place. Don't look. We were rushing, and we are out of cream as well. Thank you, Isaac, for my coffee. Wow. April says she loves being live. Oh, you know, Lauren's not here. I wish Lauren Fisher was here because she just sent me a bunch of chocolate. And not only that, I've already started eating it, which isn't great. I should have held out, but Lauren sent me gluten-free chocolate, and it's milk chocolate, because I said it's impossible to find gluten-free milk chocolate. So I think she went on a mission and found some for me. So Lauren Fisher, I love you very much. Thank you for my chocolate, which was super nice of her. Gosh, everyone's so quiet today, so quiet. Nada says, I went to my first church flea market sale today and found a few great products. I paid under $10 for 3, and they are scanning in Seller Central for about $250. That's awesome, Nada. Yeah, I love the church sales. Those I went to another church sale. I'll talk about that in a minute, because I did go to a church sale this morning and had a lot of luck with that. Hey, it's James, the Cali Picker. How are you doing, James? Nice to have you with us. I kind of missed you. I've been skipping off the Friday night show because I've been working on Blue Sky and all of that malarkey. And I kind of miss you, James. We need to talk more. But I'm glad you're here. Yay! Have you done any treasure hunting this morning, James, or found anything awesome? Do tell us about it. Yeah, so I did go to a church sale this morning, and it was cool. I got there early, and I was standing outside, and they put the books outside, which was really nice, so I could poke through the books while I was waiting. And they kind of liked me because there were other people trying to kind of barge their way in, and I was happy just poking around looking at the books. And there was this big old box of encyclopedias, and they look like this. How awesome is this book? How pretty does this book look? I don't know how well you can see it, but it's leather bound. It's an Encyclopedia of Health by Bernard McFadden, and it's from 1933. Now that's kind of interesting. So it's too late to be public domain unless it doesn't have a copyright. Sadly, it does have a copyright notice. So it's not public domain. I can't sort of copy the pages or take copies of the pictures or do anything like that with them. But it's a pretty awesome set. And when we looked this up, I know a couple of people looked up on treasure hunting and found it sold one exactly the same, sold for $200 on eBay. So that's pretty exciting. It's actually funny because this doesn't seem to be selling as much on Amazon as it is on eBay. And I think that's because it's got a bad listing. There aren't really any pictures on the listing. But if you look in, it's like beautiful condition. And it's got really nice color pictures. Now remember, this is a 1933 book. There was another picture that made me laugh in here. There's a lot of how to do proper sports and how to do that's sprinting. But this is good. I don't think you can see that. This is swimming equipment and apparatus. So you basically suspended from this bar and you practice your swimming, which seems like a legit way to practice your swimming. Why you don't actually just get in a swimming pool? And look, I think this is like the beginning of MMA right here. I'm not sure what's going on there, but there are men in their underpants wrestling each other. Hey! James, you had to ruin it. I was just sort of looking at the pictures of men in their pants. So that's what I found. So I picked up this whole set, 8 of these beautiful encyclopedia for $15. So I'm really happy with that. I don't know, when I look at things like this, I always think of John Bradley, and I think of what he was doing with those beautiful illustrations from encyclopedias. But I don't think I could do it with these ones. As we know, these sold $200 on eBay. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do with them when I finally get around to listing some stuff on eBay. I did close all my eBay listings for a while, but I might open them back up and put these up. Because we know they sold $200. Etsy, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll explore Etsy with these. But yeah, I always think of John Bradley and how he cut out the pictures and illustrations and did cool things with those prints, like frame them, and people bought just the prints. That always amazed me. So I always keep kind of a lookout for Encyclopedia now, for that reason. But also the public domain thing's really interesting, and that's something we've been exploring in Blue Sky. So I think the date, I've forgotten it off the top of my head, is it 1916? I think, is it 1916 or 1923? But books before a certain date are public domain, so you can like republish information in public domain books, which is really, really interesting. Because given when you start combining that with CreateSpace, with Kindle publishing, you can do some really interesting things. I'm working on, I don't want to say which book it is, but I'm working on a classic book at the moment, and I've got an artist that I found on an art website. And it's really slow going because she's taking forever. But she's an amazing, amazing artist, and I've got her doing some illustrations for a classic book for me. And my plans to publish that on CreateSpace. So I'm talking about that. I've been talking about that a little bit in my Blue Sky group. But as that project moves on, I will definitely update people about that because I'm very excited about it. Okay, so what did James say he got? Let me look back. James got 100 books for $40 at the estate sale, got a Sony video camera with extra battery, 5 mini videotapes, and a bag for $3. Whoa, score! That sounds awesome, James. And that's funny. You got a 14 by 10 Norman Rockwell book with pages that are designed to be cut out, but you can't do it. So that's kind of my pain with this. Like, there are some cool pictures in this. And there are definitely some kind of, I might say niche pictures in here. I'm trying to find the one that I wanted to show, but I can't. Wow, there's some crazy pictures in here. This is the female structure. It's all just like guts and things. But there's some really interesting kind of unusual pictures in here. I'm just sitting here reading my book. How obnoxious is that? Whoa, this is cool. There's a Hindu bride. That's really random for a book on health. But some really cool pictures in here that are kind of unique. But I don't think I could bring myself to chop up these books. If they were maybe all on their own or really tatty or beaten up, then chopping them up and using the illustrations might be an idea. But not these ones. But yeah, I think this would be something cool for people to look out for. If you see ratty, sort of broken up encyclopedias around, definitely think about buying them for the illustrations. And if they're pre-1916, think about public domain, because there is some scope there. One thing people do is look for storybooks, like really old storybooks or essay books, and then recreate anthologies. So if you find enough public domain essays or stories on a certain topic, you can put them all together in an anthology, republish them on CreateSpace, and have your own anthology published. And it's perfectly legal and acceptable to do that, which is pretty exciting. I'm reading James. He says, I remember the World Book Encyclopedia. They had transparent pages for anatomy, muscles, veins, bones, organs. It was cool. James has some bodies under his patio. Just saying, James. I worry about you up there in the sticks somewhere. April says she thinks she sold things at her garage sale a few weeks ago that I should have checked on Amazon. No! April, don't worry about it, because there's always more stuff. If there is something I have learned from my, couple of years of treasure hunting, there's always more and more stuff. I don't know. I learn not to hoard because I just try and get things selling, get things moving. because you can always find more stuff. That's kind of what it's about. Yay, James says rescuers are on the way for the fall. I saw that story, James. So James posted a picture of a baby, what are they called? Colts, foals, a baby horse. I was going to call it a calf. You can see like what a city island child I am. Like, yeah, they're sending rescuers for the baby calf horse. No. And I call myself a My Little Pony fan. Honestly, I don't even know what a baby horse is called. Rescuers are on their way for the foal. That's good news. So there was like an orphaned baby foal, and he was sad, and it was like a Bambi Lion King situation, and yay, it's going to have a happy ending. So I'm glad to hear that. What else did I find this morning? So I went to this church sale, and I got the encyclopedias, and that was awesome. And then I went into the church sale, and it sucked. It was so bad. There was really not much stuff in there. There was a bunch of people fighting over the jewelry. And, you know, it drives me nuts now. I see it all the time. People just, they go and they see jewelry on a table. It's all nicely bagged and priced, and they all start tipping out the bags. Why do people do that? Well, I know why they do that, but it sucks. So there are a lot of people fighting over the jewelry. And there wasn't much else. I walked all around the hall twice, and they had a whole table of Easter decorations, a whole table of Christmas decorations. They had some electronics, but they weren't very interesting. They were like pool parts or something. And then at the back of the church, like right at the back, they had about 12 banker boxes just stacked up. And it's like, are these for sale? And they went, yeah, those are for sale. And they had boxes of sheet music. So I poked around in them for a while, and I didn't find a lot. And, you know, it's funny. It's one of those things that I felt if I'd really been in a mood to do the work and buy them all in bulk and take them home and sort them and sell them in lots, I probably could have done well with it. But it was too much work. So they had enough sheet music. So of each hymn or song, they had enough printouts for like the whole congregation. So I'm guessing there was like 30 or 40 of each particular song sheet, all divided into banker boxes. And so I left those alone because they weren't worth much individually, and I would have had to lot them and sell them on eBay to make them worth something. But I got a whole box of hymn books that had a 1.9 million rank, so not great, but I think I got like 25 of them, and they all sell for $26 each. So long tail, but I can list them for maybe like $18, $17, and just wait and just let them sit there and wait. So I'm pretty happy at that. James is saying $25.99. No, because here's the thing. I've got like 25, 30 of these, and they're going to take forever to sell at 1.9 million. So I bought them for $3 for like, I haven't even counted how many I've got of them, but I've got a lot of them. So if I send them in and then like undercut like crazy, I might have a chance of actually selling them and getting my money quickly. For $3, I'm pretty happy. If I sell one of them, I made my money back. So I'm probably going to try and list all 25 of them for probably about $18 and see how they do at that. But yeah, I'd be happy with that. I also got a whole set of sermon Bible books, which is kind of interesting. And they're pretty much brand new hardback books. So it was kind of a weird sell. I think I probably could have done better if I was in full-on treasure hunting, ready to work mode. But I have so many other things going on at the moment that I didn't really want to bring home all these hymn sheets to sit and sort through. But it was a good reminder to me to make sure I go and look at the back, look around the room, and look at the stuff that no one else is touching. If everyone's fighting over the jewelry, and there's a bunch of like banker boxes full of something interesting in the corner, you know, I always love the secret boxes. I always love the boxes that are like under the table or hidden away. That's always where the good stuff is. So I'm happy with that. I found some good books this morning. So I think that's all my treasure. Well, I missed something. Nada says she found, a 10-piece VHS set. The ranks 41 in electronics, 3 FBA sellers, $73. Wow. That's awesome, Nada. I'm really pleased for you. You know, it's funny, VHSs can still sell for a lot. I don't sell used VHSs just because I find it's kind of like a lot of hassle. I don't want to watch them and sit through them. And in fact, I don't have a VHS, so I don't have a VHS recorder, so I can't really watch them. But I have sold sealed VHSs, and some of them can sell for like $50, $60, $70. The one I've said that I had that was really successful, I had Oprah Winfrey's Raisin in the Sun, and that sold really well. I had that brand new. Oh, Cindy says that Isaac and I should sing some hymns and create some good vibes and get them sold. You know, I think I'll get struck with a lightning bolt if I attempt singing hymns. I don't know. I'm sure the Almighty might be pleased, but my hymn singing talents may not quite be up to. Well, you know, it's funny because like all the English hymns are kind of different from the American hymns, so it's kind of like a learning curve. When I hear people singing hymns here, I'm like, what are these? I don't know what they're singing. Whoa. And I never realized that. I think I realized it at the first Christmas I was here, and I was like, I don't know many of the songs that people are singing at Christmas. And it's so funny because you're brought up with like Christmas carols, and you know all these, and like I never heard that one that goes da 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 da. I was like, what is this? This is the creepiest, scariest song ever. And then I realized like everyone loves that song in America, and it's like a big thing. And I never heard it until I moved here. So yeah, that's my experience of cultural integration. Yeah. I'm really hot. Oh my gosh, why is it so hot in here? I do apologize if I'm like sweating all over the screen. I was looking to see whether Lauren's here. She's not here. Lauren, I wish you were here. I want to say thank you to you, but I will have to just send you an email instead. Gosh. Okay, so I'm going to bring Brian on in a moment. Couple of things this week. Oh, who got ungated? I know crazy things happened with ungating this week, and a lot of people just found the floodgates kind of opened. And if you tried to get ungated, a lot of people, I think April said me, April got ungated without having to submit any pictures or any flat files or anything difficult, and so did Diane, which is pretty amazing. I know there's a lot of people saying, oh, it might not stick, it might not stick. This has happened before. I know this happened on a smaller scale with, I think, clothes, shoes, and it did stick then, and it's been happening over the last week or two on and off. But it seems to have become, like yesterday, it seemed to open pretty wide. Actually, I'm not approved in luggage and watches. Those are like the two I'm not approved in. And I tried it and it didn't work for me. So congratulations everyone that did get approved. I'd love to know what their criteria are for who sees that and who doesn't. I'm guessing it's some sort of random Amazon glitch. Not really like based on anything from what I've heard. But congratulations everyone who did get approved. I know there's some sort of questions at the moment about what you put for all the boxes. And there's some controversy about whether you say you're the brand owner or you're buying from the manufacturer. There's Sherry in the house. Sherry is the expert. Sherry is like the big expert on ungating. I have two good friends who are ungaters, Sherry and Bibi, and they are super, super pros in the area of ungating. And Sherry has put out an awesome course called Lunch Break Learning. And you should totally, if you want to learn how to ungate properly, and not only learn how to ungate, but also understand the process so that when you come to create your own listings, when you come to create new listings for clothes, for shoes, jewelry, you know how to do it properly and you understand the process. Check out Sherry's course. She has Lunch Break Learning, which is pretty awesome. I've looked at it myself. I've gone through it. It's a good course, and she has such a great manner. So big fan of Sherry Worth. Lunchbreaklearning.com if you want to really learn how to get ungated. And if the big ungating glitch didn't work for you this week. Yeah, it's really hot in here. I've got my Muppet pajamas on, actually. It's kind of funny. So I put my nice top on, but I have Muppet pajamas from the waist down. And I think that's why I'm really hot and sweaty in here. What was I going to say? It's this week. What happened this week? Oh, hey, I went and talked to Antengo. That was pretty cool. If you haven't checked it out yet, go to my YouTube channel. I went to antengo.com. And they are in downtown San Diego. And they're huge at the moment. They've been on NBC. When I walked in, they'd just come back from Fox 5, which is like the local Fox station. They've been in all the news. The CEO was flying out to New York. And they're really big at the moment. They are a buy and sell app. So check it out. You can go and watch my video on YouTube. You know, I've got a fan here, but if I put the fan on, it's going to be super noisy and it's going to be like, and then you won't be able to hear me either. So I'll just sit here and be hot. Cause that's what I do. An awesome interviewer. I don't know about that. I had an interview with Antengo, and it was cool. It was fun learning about them. They've been doing what they do for 5 years. And now they kind of got big, which is amazing to me. Oh my gosh, I wish I had 5 years to work on a project. Gosh, I think Isaac and I put the bundle course together in like a week and a half, because that's how we roll. Everything's super fast. Yeah, we've got some big things coming up next week. Isaac and I have been up very, very late working till about 3 a.m. most nights this week. We're hoping to have some big blue sky announcements next week. So even though maybe it seems a little bit quiet at the moment, expect to hear from me next week, because there are big things happening. And Isaac needs to be working. I hope he's working very hard. I think he is. He's been working very late. But big things happening. I'm going to do, hopefully, an announcement early next week. Another thing that's going on for me, I'm going to ASD, yay, in Las Vegas. So that is on. I might have some ASD related announcements coming up as well, but I'm holding out on those, but I will definitely be there. Yay! I think Art's going to be there. Art, are you going to be at ASD? I think you are. Thank you, Dave Breyer. Talk about heart. And Brian's going, so that's 3 of us. Darcy's going. Oh my gosh, I think there's going to be a treasure hunting meetup at ASD. I will figure something out. But yeah, there are things afoot with ASD. What do you mean you'll probably go? Probably go up. Gosh, you went to the big thing there in March. You got to come to my thing, otherwise I'm just going to be like hurt and offended and cry. Just letting you know, no pressure or anything. Okay, so ASD is like the biggest wholesale trade show in the US. I think I'm right. Is it the biggest one? I think it is. It's like 9 shows. And it's pretty much everything. Like all the manufacturers from everywhere go to ASD, and it's all divided into sections. So there's one section for overseas manufacturers, like from China and Vietnam and India. And then there's like, the rest of it is mostly US manufacturers, but it's everything. It's clothes, it's shoes, it's jewelry. There's like a whole dollar store section. I was in like dollar store heaven. I'm like, I can buy dollar store products cheaper than I can buy them at the dollar store. Whoa, it's like bundle paradise. So I'm definitely going to ASD. There will probably be a meetup for, I don't know, blue sky treasure hunting bundle, that conglomerate. And there might be other ASD news, but there are things in the works. So watch out. But if you're on the fence about going, go, because it's going to be awesome. It's in Las Vegas, and it's twice a year. It's March and August. I think it's August the 2nd to the 5th. And I'll probably be there for the whole show. Yeah, I made a couple of videos, so if you're interested, you can go on my YouTube. And I did a walk around. So you can really get a feel for what's there, what you can see there, who's there. And you know what, I have to say, it's cool. It's a really chill place to go. It's fun. There's a lot of fear mongering. There's a lot of people out there at the moment who are doing, ooh, you've got to take my wholesale course. Ooh, you've got to go and like learn how to talk to people at a wholesale event. Ooh, you have to be a big powerhouse to go to wholesale things. No, you don't. You need to, okay, I got my reseller license from, my reseller permit from the Board of Equalization in California. Easy, done. You just apply, done, super easy. As long as you got your seller permit from your state, which is, I think in most states it's pretty easy to get, you're fine. You can go as a reseller, go talk to the wholesale people and pay them money. You know, the ASD is free, actually. You can get him free, so it's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so I got my seller permit, and I registered for ASD, showed up. You can go there. You can go and open accounts for people. You can order stuff. I don't recommend buying stuff directly on the day when you're there. I recommend going and taking catalogs or taking websites and learning and researching and doing your work. But it's not scary. Like, you don't need a course to talk to people at a trade show. You just go up to someone and go, hey, what are you selling? How are you doing? Okay, how do I fill out an order? Okay, help me out here. I haven't done this before. Oh, it's just like talking to regular people. Business cards are a good idea. That's actually, that is a good tip. Take business cards, take your seller permit. Other than that, you're pretty much good. So just talk to people. They're regular people, and they want to sell stuff. It's kind of like, honestly, it's just kind of like going to an estate sale or going to a store, but just stepped up a level. So I don't really understand the mystique and the scariness about wholesale, because it's pretty straightforward. You're just buying stuff. So I think everyone should go to ASD. It's fun. I had a blast there. I had such a good time in March, so I'm very excited about going back in August. And if you've been thinking about doing private label, if you're doing bundles, definitely check it out. Or if you're doing FBA anything, definitely check it out. I'll talk more about it as we get closer to it. Do we have them on the East Coast? Yeah, I'm sure there's trade shows. Just look up wholesale trade shows. They're all over the country. But ASD is just like the biggest one. It's huge. Is the trip costly for me? Not really, because I can road trip from, I live in San Diego, so it's like 6 hours. And it's always fun doing a road trip to Vegas. So I got my babysitting set out, and I am going to ASD, which is awesome. Cool. Okay, I think Brian needs to come on. I think we need to talk to Brian. Let me just sip my coffee. Business expense. You've got to love those business expenses. So we'll do a meetup. I'll have to post something, and then everyone who is going to ASD, we can all hook up and, I don't know, have dinner. It'll be good. Okay, let's see if I can bring Brian on. How do I do this? I might have to pin him. I can't. Oh wait, there we go. I've almost got my head around Zoom. I'm getting better at Zoom. Where are you, Brian? I hear you and I'm not seeing you. Oh, there you are. Let me pin you so I can. Oh, spotlight. That's what I do. Hi, Brian. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me tonight.
Welcome. So you've been in all the groups. You're in treasure hunting and bundles and blue sky.
Correct.
And when did you get started selling on Amazon? What's been your path into getting started?
Well, I started selling on Amazon late last year, and I really didn't ramp up until about 2 months ago. I had been an eBay seller for 7-8 years, and it's really hugely impacted my bottom line. I mean, from once I really started understanding how eBay or Amazon worked, it's just taken off. And I wish, a lot of people talk to me about, they started on Amazon and they want to know eBay. Well, it's just I started on eBay, and I really wish I would have started on Amazon. Bottom line, my revenue and sales have immediately doubled just by using FBA.
Wow. And you didn't start until late last year, you started using FBA.
Correct. And, I was probably only having 10 to 20 sales, for the first couple months. And then I finally started getting inventory, learning retail arbitrage as it relates to being beneficial with FBA, whereas I was picking up my inventory for eBay from thrift stores and things like that. I really wasn't going out to the mass markets and purchasing items there, new product. And once I really started diving into that, it's just blown up for me. It's like I said, my revenue has doubled in just a matter of a few short months.
Whoa. So how was your transition from eBay to Amazon? Did it feel like a big learning curve, or did you just jump in and find it super easy?
Well, I just, like I do most anything in life, I jump both feet in. Yeah, I don't sit there and dangle my feet in the water. There's only one way to enter a pool for me, and it's off the diving board. So
that's awesome.
I just tried to learn. I watched a lot of your videos, and there's tons of resources out there to just start learning. And I think my biggest delay was just getting product into the warehouses. And I still struggle with that now, whether it's, the bundles, which I'm doing really well with, coming up with creative ideas. I'm working on some other items as well, that you've kind of put in my head with the Blue Sky group, but just regularly feeding that inventory machine. If it's not there, it's not going to sell. And, I am currently sitting on boxes and boxes and boxes of old stock of inventory that I haven't even listed on eBay, that I almost am not even motivated to even mess with anymore, because, I've got this other machine that works so well right now, but I'm trying to, flush through that. And I don't think I'll ever give up selling on eBay, but I'm probably 50-50 right now. Whereas, I was just 100% eBay prior to this, but I would really like to be more refined as to what I'm purchasing for my eBay inventory, be a lot more selective, because, it's funny, as I do a lot of clothing on eBay. That's probably the biggest amount of stuff I do. And I'm looking at this stuff, I was just listening just the other day, and, you go through and you're like, man, today I probably wouldn't have bought those items. When I was really heavy into eBay, if it was, an athletic apparel, which is a big part of what I do with the clothing, I would just buy it. If it was at a price point that I was comfortable with, I would buy it. I didn't care brand, things like that. I knew I would turn my product. If the costs were low, I knew I didn't have a whole lot in it if I needed to just write it off and return it to Goodwill or wherever. But now, it's really funny as I'm working through these boxes that I have, it's just inventory I wouldn't be buying today. So I really have to force myself to go ahead and get through what I have here, so I can continue to focus on, really transitioning over to more FBA inventory.
Yeah. Do you find there's a different mindset? Do you find you think about things differently when you move to selling on Amazon as opposed
Absolutely. That learning curve is probably the biggest thing that was a challenge for me, because as most people in the groups, they're thrifty. They want to get a bargain. And those buyers on Amazon are very convenience buyers. That's their mindset. They just want to go to one place. They don't want to go to Target. They don't want to go to Walmart. They don't want to hunt around for it. They just want to buy, use their Prime, get it in 2 days, and move on with their lives. So I'm not necessarily a convenience buyer myself, so trying to be in their mindset, it has put me at a little bit of a disadvantage. I think I have a Prime account, and I've bought a book. That was the only thing. It was Chris Green's book that I wanted. So that was the only reason I signed up for Prime, and it's just not the way I personally buy. So.
That's interesting. Linda's asking, do you sell only online, or do you also have a full-time job or another job? Are you a full-time seller?
Well, I mean, the way I started, and my story is kind of interesting. I was a computer engineer for 15 years, and when the real estate market was hot, I started dabbling in real estate investments, single family residence, and was flipping properties. And then I got to the point where I have some rentals now. And my daughter was actually in gymnastics, and to buy a leotard for gymnastics, you're spending probably $200 for their competition leotards. Well, I used to pick up light fixtures and things like that at thrift stores to put in the properties that I was turning. I happened to be in a store one day and there was a leotard there, and I knew it was a high-end brand, and I jumped on it. It was like $2. I was like, this is crazy. So I started thinking, well, why am I not looking on eBay for those items? With the thrifty mindset, eBay's more that type of market. And I needed to start unloading hers. Now, I could have put them at the gym that she went to, and I would have paid the gym a little bit of a fee, but I was only exposing just the kids that were at that gym to that item. So I started putting her old leotards on eBay, and that really just started opening the door. Then I started getting into I stayed with sports type stuff for a long time because that's what I knew. I'm a soccer fanatic. In fact, I've been on a soccer field all day. We have tryouts going on here in Kansas City this weekend. But
isn't that you're a team coach?
Right. I coach, I referee. I was involved with the state cup competition all last weekend. It's really what I do outside of work. That's where I spend most of my time, aside from my family, of course. But I started getting into soccer apparel, things like that, and then just started learning some of the other things that I didn't know so much. And I have gotten into fashion and things like that. I tend to stay away from kids' clothes and stuff. But that kind of started the beast for me. And I was like, wow, I can make some good money here. And it's fun to go out, the thrill of the hunt. Everyone has that high when they find that cool thing at a garage sale or a thrift store. And so that became more enjoyable than turning the properties. And I still do some real estate stuff, but this is really what I do full time. I'm online only. I do have some things that I'm kicking around, and the blue sky's really starting to get those gears working faster than what they had been. But there are some things I am kicking around, possibly some type of brick and mortar. But it may be more in the flea market arena, maybe because I have some background with real estate, possibly opening an indoor flea market or something like that. I don't know. That's well down the road, but these are just ideas kicking around.
That's really cool. How do you balance it? Like, because I have the same problem that I have all these projects and thoughts and ideas, and in a way, I love blue sky because it gives me an outlet to just go, I've got this idea. I know I don't have time to do it, and I'm not going to have time to do it. So I'm just throwing these things out here. How do you balance and prioritize? How do you decide what's important right now?
I don't know if I have a good grip on that, really. It's just, this shiny object's over here, and, I'll kind of deviate from what I originally had done. I think I try and move everything forward at the same rate. And I do spread my focus thin sometimes that way. It's a lot of long days, but, at the end of the day, I think you saw a picture of the pool I have in my backyard. We built that last year, and that was really done from proceeds from selling online.
That's really inspiring.
So I don't consider myself, one of the big shots. I see numbers posted by some of the guys that are, they're moving 100,000 in a month. I'll do that in a year, and I'm totally fine with that. But with the addition of Amazon to my arsenal, maybe I'm going to hit 200,000 in the next year or two. So, I wish I would have learned Amazon a long time ago, but I think had I started there, I may never have converted over to eBay. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've wondered that. I mean, at the moment, I've frozen my eBay. I'm not selling anything on eBay, but it's kind of never say never. I'm actually seeing a lot of people at the moment moving back from retail arbitrage to thrifting because I think this is kind of such a slow time of the year until we get into back to school season, that I'm actually seeing people going back to thrifting just because they know the margins are high. And it's like, I mean, if you can go and find some surfer dude that you can sell for $300, then that's like that's worth a lot of buying a lot of retail arbitrage items.
Right. And, with my backlog that I have right now, I don't find myself going out specifically to go to thrift stores anymore. And I probably haven't been to a thrift store in several weeks. And I mean, I'm not going to pass up the opportunity. If there's one on the way, I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to jump in there. I can't not go to one. But I don't intentionally go. There were days that I would spend the entire day going from one store to the next and, spend $500 to $1,000 on inventory at the stores, and then, spend the next couple of days posting everything. But, with the backlog that I have, kind of my focus now is really trying to push more into FBA. I kind of need to do a purge right now. So while I'm still trying to regularly feed my FBA inventory, because as I was saying earlier, if the inventory is not there, it can't sell. And it's so easy to, just send it somewhere else and once it's out of your hands, you just have to wait for the buyer to come along and buy it. You don't have to touch your product ever again. You give up a little more in your proceeds or your revenue, but for me, it's well worth it.
It saves you so much time. I mean, your time is so valuable, and what I like is making your time more and more valuable as you scale up. It's like you become more valuable because you can do more with your time.
Right. The mindset I used to have when I was buying houses is I didn't make money when I was selling them. I made them when I bought it, because if the numbers were right on the buy, the sell will come. So if you're out there finding your deals and getting them in, you'll get the return on it. So your time is buying it, not packaging it up and shipping it to every individual customer.
That's true. So you mentioned that you were going to ASD. Yay! I'm glad you're going to ASD.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about wholesale? Have you started moving into wholesale? Have you been doing wholesale a while? What are you? Are you like bundling it or private labeling, or what are your thoughts?
I have not ventured into private labeling as of yet, but I did recently just do my first purchase through Alibaba. And in fact, I did a test run originally, and the item sold out within 24 hours. Now, I didn't go and find a private label item. Like I said, it was an actual item that was already available, and I just piggybacked a listing. In fact, Amazon lists the particular item that I have as well. But I've just placed my bulk order of 600 pieces. It probably will be here on Monday, and I'm going to get it out there as quick as I can. That's my first experience with a wholesale type order. I've never been to ASD before or any type of trade show like that. I have a computer engineering background, so I used to go to the Consumer Electronics Show and things like that. So I'm familiar with the setting, but nothing like what this is. I've been doing a lot of reading on it and pretty excited about coming.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So how did ordering from China go? Was that an easy process, or was it something that had a big learning curve? Can you know anything about it?
I think I had maybe a little bit of an advantage with communicating with Japan when I worked as an engineer, because I worked with Panasonic. And so I was used to time delays, or if I wanted to be more instantaneous with them, I knew I was going to have to be on at night, and the emails will go back and forth. If you wait till the next morning to reply, they're not going to get it until the evening where I'm at, and then reply. And then you have a lot of delays there. So I knew I was expecting that going into it. It took me probably talking to about 12 different vendors before I homed in on the one that I felt the most comfortable with. Of course, they have their gold vendors and their fair trade vendors and things like that. So you can kind of filter down. I don't want to disparage the new resellers there, but for me, being my first purchase, I wanted to go with a backed vendor, that's supported by Alibaba already, that had numerous years selling experience with them. But outside of, just trying to get it going, once I finally locked in on the supplier, yeah, it was streamlined. We, came to a price, and the product was out my door within a week of, hammering out the price. And I paid via PayPal, so I was more comfortable with that. I, had some protections there. I wasn't Western Union the money. A lot of the vendors do want you to do that. If you're unsure about it, you Western Union that money, it's gone. You can't get it back. So you do have some securities when you're using PayPal and things like that, or at least I felt more secure with it.
Yeah, I love it.
Now with that, I did pay their PayPal fees. They factored that into the cost, and shipping was a monster. It was a huge part of that bottom line, or price per item. It nearly doubled the cost of the item over what they were charging. When you factor in the shipping, it was almost double on the items that I was buying. So on my bulk, it cut it down probably 30% off of what it was originally, but it still was, it was still a chunk of that entire amount that I paid them. So
did you know that up front, or was that a surprise, or did you kind of have an idea that was how it was going to go?
I didn't have an idea that it was going to be, that high, but they let me know all that. I could have shipped China post, but it would have probably taken a month, they said, to get it to my door. So I may consider down the road with my bulk order, if it really starts selling rapidly, whether or not I'm going to have to place another, because they ship DHL Express. I may have to ship another order in via DHL if it's something that I'm going to continue to try and replenish. And then at the same time, also place a China Post order, and it will come by ship. And, just kind of balance that out. And then going forward, if I just pay attention to the sales trends, I'll be able to order accordingly and not have to pay so much on the shipping. So
awesome. Sherry says, do you have any tips on how you found your product? Like, were you looking for something in particular? Were you browsing, or?
Well, as you know, I had a bundle item go #1 new release, and it was just a snack food type thing. And I was then looking at how I homed in it, and I spent a lot of time looking between what was available on Alibaba and #1 ranks, and not necessarily new release, but just #1 sales in general. And, I was just comparing, okay, this is the sales price, using the FBA calculator. What could I get it over here? It just really spent a whole lot of time looking for, the right item. And I just happened to land on something that worked. I can't say the next time I try it, it's going to work out as well, but this one just happened to for me.
Wow. So you went from starting selling on Amazon at the end of last year to having a #1 new release, and then you sold out your wholesale product in a day. That's amazing, Brian. It
was a great feeling.
Wow. That's like a lot of achievements, though, in the space of a few months. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
So I was going to ask about Aliexpress. Have you tried, because I've ordered a few things from Aliexpress kind of as just to get a feel of what's available on Alibaba. Is that something you've looked at?
I guess I'm a little still so new to it. I don't necessarily know why the difference. And, I have looked on both of them, but to me, it's kind of one and the same. And I apologize if I'm stating that incorrectly. But I don't know really the difference between the two.
I think Aliexpress is like for buying one-offs. The price is higher, but it's for buying smaller quantities, whereas Alibaba's for sort of ordering in bulk. And I found like Aliexpress is kind of nice. Like you jump full in, as you say, you dive straight in.
I didn't realize I was doing that necessarily on those terms, but yeah, that's kind of how I do things. I don't.
Yeah. But I was going to say to people watching, if they're sort of thinking about it, like Aliexpress is kind of like the baby steps towards Alibaba. So that's kind of I ordered a product from Aliexpress that I want to play with and see if I can put out there in the next week or two. So there's such a world of ways of putting together products now and putting things out there. I think it's really exciting now, the way reselling is going now.
Right. And, I have some other, now with Blue Sky coming on, it's really got me thinking about some other things. I've started spending some time on Etsy and Pinterest and seeing, what are people doing out there? What are they looking for? And that's a great resource to build ideas. And I've homed in on an item that I think will do well. And I'm now working with some local injection mold and blow mold companies. And I'm trying to I need to work on some CAD work on the design before I can move forward with these guys. But I did contact some people yesterday and talk to them and, trying to get a totally new, not to market yet item off the ground. So not even just private label, but total my idea from design all the way to mass market or to market.
Wow, so that's really exciting. I think that's what's most exciting to me, because I see like the traditional private label model, and it's a lot of it's very similar to arbitrage. You're selling the same things as other people, you're just distinguishing your listing or just trying to improve a little bit on what they're doing. But I'm really excited by the scope of selling new products, coming up with brand new things. I think that's amazing that you're working with someone local and kind of coming up with something brand new, because there's a world of things to create there.
Yeah, it definitely speaks to the power of our groups that we have, because I didn't even know where to start, and I kind of threw it out there. And I think Sherry was one of the first ones to look up, injection molding companies. Wow, I didn't know I had one right down the street, in the next town over. So, that's one of the ones that I contacted, and then a couple others that they had brochures online that I was able to look at and see if they were the right fit. So I contacted 3 people. One of them, you didn't get that warm and fuzzy with their response, whether or not they wanted to do work with someone small. I think they wanted to deal with more mass manufacturers. But I got a good feeling from the other 2, and they said, start working on it. I think even Isaac said, look on Fiverr and see if you can get the CAD design, built there, which I'm going to explore that. I haven't done anything yet, but I did get on and look at it. I've used Fiverr in the past for just some animation pictures and things like that. So it's doable. It's absolutely doable. I just have no clue what my initial investment's going to be. Am I considering 500 is going to be where I need to be to get the prototype? Is it 1,000? Once I start knowing what those numbers are, then I'll have to make a business decision on whether or not I want to pursue it. Is it a wise thing for me at this time?
Right, you got to make the numbers make sense. But I love that you're just exploring it. You're going out there and putting it out there. And I think that's what we're all trying to do, is take down all the roadblocks, all the mystique, all the it's difficult to order from China. It's difficult to get things made. It's difficult to buy wholesale. None of these things are difficult. It's just kind of getting the focus and figuring out what steps you need to take. And I'm amazed by how you're executing it and getting in there and doing it.
You just got to put on the big boy pants and drive forward. If you want something more than what you have right now, you have to take the bull by the horns and do it. There's no other way around it.
I'm laughing at
it's the old definition of insanity. Do the same thing and expect a different result.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
You've got to, and I love all the inspirational things you've been posting, Brian. You got such a great attitude. You kept me going on a few days when I'd be like, oh, and then
sometimes the pep talks are for me as well. I'm not immune of getting in the rut and just not wanting to do anything some days.
Yeah, a little bit of projection. Sometimes we talk to ourselves a little bit, and when you put out, hey guys, just smile and be happy, it's a great day, and inside you're like, oh.
Right. But as you were saying earlier, you're in your pajama pants. It's great to be able to work from home. I don't know if I brush my hair, and
I've got animal in my pajamas too.
Wool on.
Hey. Oh, well, it's been such a pleasure talking to you, Brian. And
I appreciate you inviting me.
Of your pool, apart from April's husband doesn't want a pool, but apart from April's husband, we all want a pool.
Yeah, that that was something that the wife had wanted for many years, and when we finally built it last year, I immediately wish I had done it sooner. You know.
Where do you live? I don't know whereabouts you are.
In Kansas City, just south of just outside of Kansas City. So I'm a big sporting fan.
So it's nice and warm there. It's good pool weather there, I'm guessing.
Yes and no. Today was nice. In fact, I had all my I've got 8-year-olds that play for me, and I had a bunch of them over this afternoon after tryouts, and we jumped in the pool. And it was warm today, but we've had a lot of rain. I mean, it's been really bad here in the Midwest, down in Oklahoma and stuff. It's been very wet.
I could do the pool right now. I'm like, it's hot. It's really hot right here.
Yeah, I could probably handle the heat out there. We have the humidity as well, so it's just miserable sometimes here. Oh,
well, thank you so much, Brian. It's been such a pleasure having you on, and I will see you at ASD. It's going to be
absolutely awesome. Look forward to it. I'm excited.
Well, have a great weekend, Brian.
Thank you.
Cool. That was Brian Smith. If you want to talk to him, he's in treasure hunting, he's in Blue Sky, and he's in bundles. And he is such an awesome, inspiring person. And he has a pool. So we're all going to a pool party at Brian's house. Are we all going there? After ASD, pool party at Brian's house. I think it's probably a long drive to Kansas. I think I went there once and there was just a lot of grass. And I went, are we still in Kansas? Are we still in Kansas? And then like 8 hours later, you're like, are we still in Kansas? But it's cool. So this has been a fun treasure hunting. I think it's kind of like treasure hunting / Blue Sky now. Hopefully I've got some Blue Sky announcements coming next week. I will have more ASD information coming very soon, but I will be there and we will work on having a meetup there. So actually let me know if you're going to be there and you're interested in the meetup, do let me know. But it's been a fun week. Lots of hard work. I'm going to keep up the hard work. I'm going to keep putting out the content. If you're not in treasure hunting and you're interested in reselling and finding treasure in retail stores or finding treasure in thrift stores or yard sales, join treasure hunting. If you want to make your own products, come and join Blue Sky. Blue Sky is like, I think everyone should be in Blue Sky anyway, just because I'm having so much fun there, just coming up with ideas and brainstorming things. But Blue Sky is kind of all about taking down the roadblocks, the barriers, and just making things happen, making things possible without stressing out and putting up barriers. So check out those groups. Have a great weekend, everyone. It's been awesome talking to you. I will archive the Zoom and I will put it up on YouTube very shortly. I will talk to you all soon, but watch this space for announcements. And yes, everyone should come to ASD. Zuzu, I would love it if you came to ASD. That would be so cool to see you there. All right, have a great week, everyone. Love you. Bye.